Captain Jake Mitchell sat alone in his modest cabin aboard the ship Harmony, gazing out at the stars streaking past his window. A 32-year-old human diplomat, Jake had spent the past 5 years traveling across the galaxy, forging peace between rival planets. His job mattered, but in the silence of space, he often felt deeply alone. That night, something extraordinary occurred. As Jake read over reports, a brilliant light flared in his cabin. The light began to shift and reshape, becoming a glowing figure made entirely of golden energy. Jake jumped to his feet, heart pounding. "Do not be afraid, human," the being said, its voice like music. "I bring you an important message." It extended shimmering arms, revealing a radiant object hovering in midair, crystal invitation glowing with colors Jake had never seen. As his fingers brushed it, words appeared not in his eyes, but his mind. It was an invitation to the royal wedding of Princess Lore of the Vexaran Empire. Jake remembered meeting her 6 months earlier during tense negotiations between humans and Vexarans over rare mineral trade. He'd worked tirelessly to broker peace. During that time, he'd noticed something unusual about Princess Lore. Like all Vexarans, her skin shifted colors with emotion, but there was something different in her eyes. She'd been fascinated by human customs, always asking thoughtful questions. Why do humans shake hands when they meet? She'd once asked. Jake explained it showed Pisan, empty hand, a gesture of friendship. She'd smiled and tried the gesture, even though it felt foreign to her. Now, holding the crystal invite, Jake wondered, why him? He was just a diplomat, not royalty, not famous. The next morning, he brought the invitation to Ambassador Reed, his superior. Reed, a seasoned diplomat with silver hair, gasped as he read it. "Jake, this is unbelievable," he said, carefully examining the glowing crystal. "The Vexarans never invite humans to royal events. Their empire controls 3 entire star systems and the rarest minerals needed for our best ships. If we attend and honor their traditions, we might unlock better trade and maybe even a military alliance. This could shape humanity's future." Jake was less enthusiastic. "But sir, I don't know Vexaran customs. What if I insult someone by mistake?" "Don't worry," Reed said, clapping Jake's shoulder. "You're our best diplomat. You always manage. And if the princess invited you, she clearly trusts you." Jake sighed. "When the government wanted something, you had no real choice." "Okay, I'll go. But I need to learn everything about Vexaran culture first." For days, Jake studied tirelessly. Vexarans were tall, nearly 2 meters, with crystal-like skin that changed with mood. Blue for joy, red for anger, green for sorrow, and gold for love or deep respect. Their cities grew from living crystal, and their homeworld, Vexara Prime, had 3 moons and skies painted in pink and purple. Music held deep significance in their society, often causing their buildings to resonate. Most critically, their ceremonies were elaborate. Everything from speech to posture had specific protocols, and colors worn at events followed strict rules. When departure day arrived, Jake felt both anxious and intrigued. He dressed in a formal black suit with gold trim and packed respectful gifts for the couple. The trip to Vexara Prime took 3 days aboard the fastest human diplomatic vessel. En route, Jake rehearsed Vexaran greetings and memorized royal names. When the ship neared the planet, Jake pressed to the window. Vexara Prime was breathtaking, glimmering like a world carved from diamonds. The cities looked as if sculpted by nature itself. The ship landed on a vast floating platform of crystal. Stepping onto the surface, Jake noticed the air, and crisper than anything he'd breathed, glimmering faintly. A delegation awaited him, tall, radiant Vexarans, with softly glowing skin. Their leader, a woman with silver hair and skin shifting between blue and violet, bowed. "Welcome, Captain Mitchell," she said in perfect English. "Princess Lore is pleased you accepted. She looks forward to seeing you again." Jake returned the bow, trying to mimic the right angle. "Thank you for the honor. I'm grateful to be here." As they walked through the crystal city toward the palace, Jake couldn't stop admiring the luminous buildings and ever-present gentle music. He knew this would be unlike any wedding he'd ever seen. "Amazing," he whispered, wondering what awaited him. He came as a guest and somehow ended up marrying the princess. The royal palace of Vexara Prime was the grandest structure Jake had ever entered, one massive crystal tower soaring into the violet sky. Its translucent walls caught sunlight and refracted it into shifting living mosaics, led through melodious corridors by Vexaran officials. Jake was told, "The ceremony begins at sunset, by Lady Nera, the silver-haired official. You'll sit with honored guests. During the rituals, observe and follow others' actions." Jake nodded nervously. "What should I expect?" Nera smiled warmly, her skin turning light blue. "This will be the year's most beautiful ceremony. There will be the dance of hearts, the song of unity, and the sacred binding of light. You will witness what no human ever has." He was given ceremonial clothes, a shimmering robe of soft material that felt like silk and looked like liquid starlight, deep purple with silver threads that shifted on their own. It wrapped him in elegance. At sunset, thousands of gathered in a vast amphitheater carved from the crystal mountain. It had rising rows of seats encircling a glowing central stage. The crowd sparkled in elaborate robes, their skin shifting hues with joy. Their mingling voices created a melodic hum. "Look," whispered a nearby human reporter. "That's Princess Lorray." Jake turned and saw her for the first time in 6 months. She looked radiant, her silver hair flowed like mercury, and her golden-hued skin seemed to glow. Her dress flickered between gold, silver, and white, made of living light. Beside her stood Prince Dementor, regal, with dark blue skin and hair that sparkled like starlight. But Jake noticed the prince's skin tint was green Vexaran for sadness or doubt. Citizens of Vexara declared, the high priest, his skin polished silver. "We gather to unite to noble houses, bind to hearts, and strengthen our realm." The dance of hearts began. Lara and Demon moved in complex, synchronized steps. Around the stage, colored light streams flowed between them, but something was off. Laura's light was a brilliant gold. Demon's, a muted green. Their hearts weren't aligned. Then came the song of unity. The audience sang in unison. The harmonics, so moving Jake teared up. The amphitheater vibrated with resonance. The song told of eternal union, of souls fusing through love. Jake noticed Laura scanning the crowd. When she met his eyes, she smiled, her glow intensifying. His heart skipped. Then came the sacred binding of light. The high priest summoned dozens of radiant orbs, ancestral spirits meant to bless the union. "Let all who witness this sacred rite step forward to bind these souls," he called. The crowd stood. Remembering Lady Nera's advice, Jake rose too. The orbs floated over the crowd, touching hands and leaving sparks. One brilliant orb drifted to Jake. Before he could react, it touched his chest. Warmth spread through him, and a glowing sphere appeared in his hands. Shocked, Jake saw no other humans received one. Nearby Vexarans stared, their skin flashing with surprise. On stage, the high priest said, "Prince Demon, do you accept this light and bind your soul to Princess Lorray for eternity?" Silence. Demon stared at his orb, then Lra, then the crowd. His skin turned crimson, deep emotion. I cannot," he said, voice echoing. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Jake's orb pulsed brightly. Lara's eyes widened, but her skin stayed gold-reef. "Not sad. I cannot marry Princess Loer," Demon continued. "My heart belongs to another. This union was arranged, but I choose love over duty." Chaos erupted. Vexarans argued, their skin flashing in a storm of color. The royal families shouted. Jake sat frozen, orb glowing in his hands. Princess Lorray stepped forward and raised her hand. "Prince Demon speaks truthfully," she declared. "This marriage, you've done a great job continuing Jake's journey from accidental wedding guest to royal diplomat. The characters remain grounded, emotional stakes are high, and you're cleverly using cultural misunderstandings, alien rituals, and diplomacy to drive the narrative. It's readable, heartfelt, and layered. Since you've sent a massive continuation, here's what I can do to help. Here's what I can provide. Now 1. Quick line summary, optional for posting. Story blurb, he was just a wedding guest. Now he's a royal husband, alien prince, and humanity's unexpected bridge to an empire on the edge. When rebellion stirs and ancient customs collide with diplomacy, Jake and Princess Lorray must prove that fate and politics might still lead to something beautiful. 2. Suggestions for minor improvements. Your story is great, but here are a few light tweaks to polish or enhance clarity. Character consistency. Sometimes it's written as LOR, and sometimes Lyra. Pick one. For consistency, dialogue formatting. You could break longer paragraphs when characters speak for readability and rhythm. Name clarification. Prince Demon might cause confusion due to the name's connotation in English. Maybe consider Demon or Demin for a more alien royal name. Emotion colors. You're doing great with this Vexaran color emotion system. Maybe include a one-line reference glossary earlier in the story for quick reader understanding. For example, Vexaran emotional skin color key: gold equals joy, blue equals thoughtfulness, red equals anger, green equals worry, pink equals vulnerability. 3. Would you like this cleaned up and formatted? I can format it into a story with paragraph breaks and clean prose. Keep all tone and content intact. Make it more readable like a short story, ready for online posting or publishing. 4. Title ideas. If you're posting this, here are some strong options. Married by Mistake, The Alien Princess and the Human Diplomat, The Accidental Prince, Alien Vows, Human Heart, Sacred Orbs and Wedding Wars. I attended a wedding on an alien world and accidentally married the princess. Great for Reddit. HFY titles. Would you like me to do a polished version of everything you've written so far? Same story. Cleaned grammar and paragraph formatting. Ready to read or post? Just say yes and I'll get started. No content will change, just clarity and present. This is a beautiful, heartfelt, and cinematic sci-fi romance, an accidental marriage that becomes the foundation of a galactic alliance. You've nailed the arc from confused outsider to beloved prince, and you've kept the emotional stakes high while using sci-fi elements like bonding orbs, emotional skin color, crystal tech, and political diplomacy to add texture and originality. What you've done well: emotional depth. The emotional journey is honest and earned. Jake and Lara's bond develops gradually and realistically. Culture clash in unity. You've smartly used misunderstandings and cooperation as the backbone of the story's tension and growth. Alien world building. The emotional skin colors, bonding rituals, and crystal technology feel unique and immersive. Plot escalation. From a failed wedding to rebellion, a trial of hearts, and a galactic celebration, this story grows naturally. Satisfying resolution. You've ended with catharsis and joy, bringing the story full circle without feeling forced. Title suggestions. Here are some catchy and fitting titles depending on your target audience. 4. HFY Reddit. Web. I attended an alien wedding and accidentally married the princess. They said the orbs never choose wrong. Then they chose me, the human who became an alien prince by mistake and changed the galaxy guest at a wedding. Groomed by destiny. For print pro title, The Crystal Bond Across the Stars. She chose me an orb of fate, galactic vows. Optional edits I can offer, if you like. I can take this exact story and format it with proper paragraph breaks, quotation formatting, and clean prose ready for posting or publishing. Preserve 100% of the narrative and tone. Fix consistency issues like Elwari versus Lyra, punctuation, name formatting, light grammar, clean up only, without changing story or emotion. Would you like me to format and polish it into a clean, ready-to-read version? Let me know, and I'll get started right away. Ask ChatGPT.